Everybody, Mrs. Hales here with another art lesson. I wanted to tell you about this really cool opportunity that I have coming up this summer. I'm going to be teaching a class at the Hanover Arts and Activities Center June 21st through 25th, and we're going to be painting some storm drains around the town of Ashland in that camp. So if you're interested in doing that, you can sign up for that. The storm drains are where our stormwater runoff goes, and that water eventually feeds to the Chesapeake Bay. So we're trying to paint the storm drains with an environmentally themed message, letting people know not to put any like chemicals or pesticides or trash down in those storm drains. So they're going to be fun and fun pictures and paintings with important environmentally themed messages. So if you'd like to sign up for that, it's through the Hanover Arts and Activities Center in Ashland. Okay, so for today's lesson, we're going to draw a still life. Remember, a still life is a painting or a photograph of kind of objects from everyday life or from your house. Like it could be food on a table with a cutting board, with a vase of flowers in the background. It could just be a vase of flowers. So it's usually an object that is not in motion, that is still, and it's usually on a table, but it doesn't have to be, but oftentimes traditional still lifes were like a painting of a vase full of flowers. So we're going to draw a vase with a design on the vase, inspired by Asian, Japanese, or Chinese blue and white porcelain vases. And then I'm going to show you how to draw cherry blossoms, just a couple, one or two stems of cherry blossom tree branches in your vase. The flowering cherry blossom tree is native to Japan, and it symbolizes like a reawakening or coming again. They bloom in early spring, and the blooms look like little pink puffs of clouds because they fill the end of branches so much. In 1912, the people of Japan and the Japanese government gave Washington, D.C., I think it was 300 flowering cherry trees. They came over on a boat to Washington State, and then they came by train to Washington, D.C., where they're planted all along the tidal basin. Porcelain is a type of clay that was found first or invented in China. And oftentimes, a long time ago especially, you'll see porcelain vases or dishes painted with this beautiful blue glaze. This vase is shaped like a gourd that you would grow in your garden, and the print on it is not a pattern, and it's not symmetrical. So it's called an all-over print. So there are just little mini illustrations all over the vase, not in a pattern. This vase has more of a pattern about it, and the shapes repeat. This vase has a large pattern or a repeat on it. Remember, value is the lightness or darkness of a color. So was there white added to it or black added to it? And here we have a rectangular or square shaped vase with a smaller lip and a smaller neck. The neck and the lip are at the top. Supplies you're going to need today are a 12 by 18 piece of white paper, a pencil, and an eraser. You may get to coloring the cherry blossoms, but I doubt it. So if you want to have your oil pastels handy, you can, but you probably won't get to that part yet. We'll do that next class. First, you want to figure out what vase shape you want to draw. If you want to draw a square or rectangular vase shape and you want it to look 3D, you want to draw two sides of that vase. So that's what I'm showing you how to do right here. You'll draw it like kind of like a cube or like a tall skinny cube or a rectangle. And then you'll have two different sides that you can draw your illustrations on or your patterns. side just like the first side. You may have to keep erasing until you get it as close as you can, or you may have to just cut yourself some slack and be okay with the fact that it's not going to be perfect. Mine is not perfect. It's similar, but they're not perfect. Now you're going to draw 1 or 2 branches coming out of the lip and neck of your vase. Now the cool thing about cherry blossom branches is they're kind of gnarly and they're kind of lumpy and bumpy. They're not perfectly straight. So please don't feel like you have to draw a perfectly straight line or stick. Remember, you want 2 sides to your line because your branch is round. It has form and you want it to look like that. So you want to draw 2 sides or 2 lines next to each other for your branch. Thing you can do is draw some circles and ovals where you want to try to figure out where you want to put your flowers. And then obviously if you have an oval, your flower will be, you'll only be seeing the side of the flower. It'll be kind of facing another direction. And then where you have a circle, you'll draw the full flower like you're looking right down on the top of it. This is a flower that I tucked in behind that one flower. Now I'm going to draw these 3 circles where I want to put my 3 flowers. Be thinking about if you want to paint your flowers or if you want to color them with oil pastels. I'll show you how to do that next class, but you could be thinking about it now. The cherry blossom flower has 5 petals, and then it has a darker center with these little like spiky, I guess that's the stamen or the pistil that comes out from the center, and they have little balls on the end. So that's, so be thinking about if you want to paint the flowers and your vase, or if you want to color your flowers with oil pastel and then paint the vase with blue watercolor paint next class. So my flowers have some buds that are not open yet. They have flowers going different directions. They have some flowers that the flower has flipped over and you can see the back of it. And then I have a couple leaves in my picture. Part of planning your composition for this picture is planning out where you're going to put your flowers and on the branches and spacing them out. The other thing you want to draw today is the pattern that you're going to put on your vase. I love to draw flowers, so I put flowers on my vase. It's a fairly symmetrical pattern. I did end up putting a crane at the top the next day after I had almost finished my drawing, kind of around the neck of the vase. But you can put whatever kind of, you can put whatever kind of pattern or design you want on your vase. It doesn't have to be a symmetrical pattern. You can just draw little groups of illustrations. It can be a geometric pattern. Whatever you're going to draw, we're going to paint it with layers of blue watercolor paint and then the white paper. I'm going to leave you with a sample screen of how to draw cherry blossom flowers. See you next class.